Hello everybody and welcome back to my 100% hard mode playthrough of Metroid Prime Fusion. This time we're in the Chozo ruins. We did some neat little tricks and we got the ice beam. What we're going to do now is going to make use of the ice beam to make our way to the Phazon mines. So back through we go to the previous room. The previous room that you'll now hate after that triple space bomb jump, no doubt. One thing to bear in mind is that, obviously before you jump down here, there's like a barrier that covers it, and that creates a shortcut. Once you're on the other side, you can scan that terminal, and you can create like an opening, so you don't have to use the triple bomb jump every time you need to get back. Which is very useful, because if you forget to do that, you're going to have to do that shit all over again. So don't forget. I actually did it in the last video, but I didn't have time because I was explaining how to do the triple bomb jump that I forgot to mention. Make sure to do that. This is the last possible moment that you can do it, because this is when you're jumping back down again. So don't forget. Anyway, when you're jumping down there, activating the ice bomb slot will get you the energy tank, which will be very useful, because the Phazon mines ain't easy. When it comes to the Phazon mines, there's no really difficult tricks. There's a couple of different movement things that I'm going to be using, but it's relatively straightforward. The hardest thing about the Phazon mines is going to be the combat, and the combat is certainly challenging. If you're playing on normal mode, of course, then it's not going to really matter, but if you're playing on hard mode, you will probably find it a little bit tough. Anyway, like before, just use the frogs to get up here, but this time we're going through to the ice door. Going through here is going to lead us back to the Talon overworld. There's a little bit of a trick coming up, which you'll see in the Talon overworld, but it's nothing more than a regular bomb jump. So using, well, I say a bomb jump, a double bomb jump, where you have a bomb at the bottom and then in midair as well. It's quite straightforward to do. It's a little bit tricky in terms of positioning, because you've got to get it just right. But it's not as bad as you may think it is. It can take like a few tries if you're not careful, but hey ho. What you want to do is at these bars, you'll see like these metal strips on the side. I'll just scan that first. Yeah, you see these like blacky metal things? You want to line yourself there and do a bomb jump. It's a little bit tricky. Well, yeah, that's basically what you're doing. You want to get to the top and roll through the bars. It can be a little bit tricky because it's on a slope, so you can't just do a normal bomb jump. You have to be holding the analog as well to make sure that you actually land on your bombs. That's the hardest part. But as long as you do that, it's relatively simple. One thing to bear in mind is when you're falling down, don't fall into the water. If you fall into the water, that's very bad indeed. So make sure you land on the platform, if you need to look down and ensure you know where you're landing. But other than that, go into the Phazon mines. In the Phazon mines, there's a couple of nice tricks at the start that we're going to use, which will make things a little bit simpler. They're not overly difficult to do. The first one can be a little bit tricky, as you'll soon see. But it's not too bad. Right, so let me go down here and I'll show you. Come on. Here we go. So the biggest problem at the start for this trick are those two turrets that you just saw then in the cutscene, because they will be shooting at you. What you want to do is you want to jump and land on that bridge, more or less. You want to time your jump so you're jumping pretty much at the height of the jump and you're landing on like a little bit of rock just in front of the bridge. You see, I'm ballsing it up there, and if you balls it up, you'll fall down. And if you're really unlucky, you'll get hit by those turrets like I just did then. If you get it just right, you'll land on that little bit of outcropping there. The good thing is, you don't hit the trigger for the space pirates. So you've got the space pirates just stood here like fucking lemons. It's a little bit scary because you kind of think, shit, I don't want to walk in front of them. But seriously, they won't do anything. Scan them, get the scan in because it's an easy scan, then just activate that. Now what you want to do is you want to activate the crane, and we're gonna jump on top of the crane. How we're gonna do that is by doing one of those ghetto jumps that we mentioned before. So this bit of a window thing right here, you need to do an L jump up, which gets you the ghetto jump, and you can get up here. Now we're gonna do an L jump to get across here, but what you want to be doing is you want to look at the ground. So use R to look at the ground, and then L to lock in position. And then when you jump in, when you release the lock, you'll get like a little bit of extra momentum that'll give you the extra distance. Just a standard L jump isn't going to get you across, so you need to make sure you're doing the trick with R as well. But after that, just come down here and jump across here. Now I say jump across here, this isn't necessary. However, if you don't jump across here, there's no other way to get to it because you need the spider ball. So from the top, that's the only way you're getting to here without the spider ball. So jump up here, save. You're gonna need to save because the combat coming up is tricky. A little bit tricky. Okay, so I normally like to activate that force field as I come down because it's an easy one to get before shit starts happening. Using your ice beam, you'll freeze the turrets and then you can just fire missiles at it. It's easy to get hit by the other turret while you're trying to do it, but it's not too difficult. Right, so with those two down, let's search for some health. Got a new ammo type there, so scan that. Nice one. Not got a lot of health, but it's better than nothing. And we'll deactivate the second force field. Coming up, we have Shadow Pirates. They're a little bit buggy to scan. I mean, they're not too difficult to scan if you scan them normally, but if you scan them normally, you're probably going to get hit. What you want to do instead, oh yeah, don't forget to scan those turrets and deactivate them first. What you want to do is basically freeze these pirates. So come down here and you'll hear them make a noise, then stay back, freeze them and try and scan them. But sometimes they don't want to scan. Now we've got two pirates coming close to each other. Oh shit. I'm destroying the first one and then I'm going to scan the second one. The reason for that is because I don't want to get hit by the second one while I'm scanning the first. So just be careful. You do have a bunch of opportunities to scan the shadow pirates, so don't worry if you can't get a scan off. But I normally like to do those initial ones because they don't try and overwhelm you at this point. Okay, now one thing I'd also recommend here is trying to destroy these like metal bars. Just to give you a bit of extra maneuverability when it comes to fighting these wave troopers. These wave troopers are scary. They're fucking scary. They really come at you. You can stun them with a wave beam, but sometimes they'll just charge at you like that. And there's not a lot you can do. If they get really in your face, then they can just overwhelm you in seconds and you'll have to restart. Which is why I suggested doing that save point, because this battle can be something else. Like seriously, I wouldn't even recommend scanning them at this point unless you have a really good opportunity. The best thing to do is wait until you're on the last one and then try it, because otherwise you'll just get your ass kicked. So, take out this next one. This one thankfully is staying back a little, so I can just pick him up. When they stay back and fire bullets at you, or whatever they're firing, energy shots presumably, that's the best thing they can do, because you can just pick them off from a distance and duck in and out of cover. If they charge at you, then that's a bit of a pain. He was being a little bit iffy, so I couldn't quite get the scan off on him. However, I managed to scan him mostly just before he died. So when it comes to the next one that I face, I can just scan it a little bit and get the scan. So I'll worry about that later. You're going to face many of these elemental troopers, so I won't worry too much about scanning them. Shadow Troopers are a little bit more infrequent, so I'd worry a bit more about them. But with regards to the ones that have different colours, just don't fret. The problem with the Shadow Troopers is seeing the damn bastards. But they're not too bad, just play it safe. They only really slash, so you can just sort of dodge them and freeze them when they give themselves up. Okay, these are just normal pirates, so these don't really take too much hassle. You can just freeze them and use the bomb. Right, there we go, let's activate the platforms. Now we're going to fight some more elemental troopers, but these ones are a little bit easier, thankfully. I'm going to try and get the scan in, but fail. Never mind, don't matter. They're a little bit too far to scan them here. So I normally like to try and get a couple of pot shots in while I can, and then once they start running, come up here and finish them off. Now the best thing to do is, because there are only two, I would make a beeline for the one that you got the pot shots in. The one on the right usually runs in a clockwise direction around this circle, and the one on the left normally runs anti-clockwise. So the good thing is, if you make a beeline, you'll probably be able to take that initial one out before the other one catches up to you, making them relatively straightforward, and then you can finish your scan. There's another trooper up here, but first I'm gonna regain some ammo and health. There we go. The charge attraction wasn't quite working for some reason. Now, if you look at this, it looks like you can hit him. You can definitely scan him because you can lock onto him and then go a little bit closer to get the scan. And you'd think it'd be possible to hit him from here and get a pot shot, but for some reason, you just can't do it. Like, I'm definitely hitting him here, but nothing's happening. So I don't think it's possible. Instead, I'd recommend jumping onto this part of the sign and then getting a lock on him. Once you've got a lock on him, you can just keep that lock, and then you can hit him. Power troopers have, well, I think they've got less health than the other troopers. They seem to have less health, so it should go down without a fuss. He probably won't even hit you either, because they're a little bit shit. You can activate the platforms to get up here, but I like to jump in this bit, and then jump on the pipe, and jump across here. You can activate the platforms if you want, it's nothing but a shortcut. One thing to do at this part, to save a bit of time, activate the laser, and then quickly go in and use your morph ball. That way, you can destroy the barrier to the door, and you don't have to go in and out of this morph ball slot loads of times. You can destroy the barrier to the door, then move it around here, and whoop, that didn't activate for some reason. Try again. There we go. So yeah, you want to blow up this wall and get the missile expansion. If you didn't do what I said before, you'd have to go in that morph ball slot twice, and it's a little bit pain in the ass. So I just recommend doing it once. From here, just fall down and hope you don't lose too much health. Sometimes you can lose a fair chunk of health, but if you fall straight down one of the sides, you should be lucky enough. In here, you've got a couple of power troopers, and they can be a little bit of a pain. The one we fought last time wasn't too difficult, but these ones really come at you. The only thing I can recommend is trying to use the middle column as cover and focus for one at a time. Once you've got it down to one, it's relatively straightforward because you can just use the column as cover and just pick them off. You'll still probably get hit like, I'm getting done, but it's not too bad. Once you've taken care of him, you'll notice that we have a spider ball column in the middle. The good thing is, we don't actually have to use a spider ball, which is quite lucky because we don't have it. So you see here, which I'm shooting at, you can jump up there. So jump on like the little ledge at the bottom, and then jump on top of, and then jump on top of that pipe. It's not the easiest thing to do. It's easy to mess up, but it is possible. And then after that, you can just jump up here. After doing that, you can jump on top of the morph ball slot and then jump on this pipe. And then I would jump backwards to jump over the railing. If you try and turn around, you'll probably just fall off, so don't even try it. Just jump backwards like I did. Don't worry too much if you fall down. There are no enemies around here because you took care of them. So you can just try again if you fuck up. These things take off a lot of health, as we saw from the last pit. And as such, I like to use my charge beam to try and attack them and take out as many as I can. This bottom one can be a little bit of a pain. So you can either take out the bottom one, or you can just do like I'm doing and thinking, fuck it, let's just fall. Now, let's take out the top one. Yeah. Kind of hoping for some health there, but guess not. See, I got hit by it and it took off a chunk of health. Not ideal, but there's only one of them, it's not too bad. Right, let's take care of it, because fuck you. There we go. Here we go, here's the door. Whoops. Now at this point, you'll be hankering for a save slot. But unfortunately, we've still got a little bit to go before we can save. Thankfully, you can use that explosive thing in order to get some health. And if you go back a little, you can get another. Oh shit, ammo. Health, please. Yep, there we go. Lost a bit of health, but there you go. Okay, you see that pipe up here with the gas? Shoot that, and you can get another expansion. So if we jump up here, can get that. It also has the benefit of killing that space pirate which you saw fall to the floor, and he's nicely given us a little bit of extra health too, which is very much needed. Here we're fighting a big boy, but first get the pirate data. You can sort of skip this big boy, you know, if you're good enough. However, it's not difficult. I'm saying it's difficult. It's difficult to do under stress. You can scan that and get the data, which is easier than just scanning the bad boy himself. So go through, get the cutscene, and I'll show you what you need to do in order to get around him. Yeah, so if you see this here, we can jump on that a little bit on the side and jump on top. And then you'll see that there's a railing here. You can jump over to that little circle and onto the railing, theoretically. So again, that little thing with the blue dots on the side you can jump on. Then on top of here, on top of the wheelie fan thing, and then on top of the railing. Now this guy is hurting me quite a lot, so I'll just try one more time. If you can get it, brilliant. If you can't, they're not too difficult to fight. So yeah, I'm just going to fight him now. It's a bit annoying having to do it the long way. Basically, when he's doing that thing with his hand, don't fire at him. When he's not doing the thing with the hand, fire rockets or charge shots. If you remember when we fought the little bug thing on the Space Pirate frigate, we had the rapid fire missiles by pressing Y and then rolling onto A to reset the missile launcher. And doing that roll action between Y and A allows us to fire missiles pretty rapidly. So you can use that to get quite a few shots in. And that will help drain his health a little bit faster. But, as I say, it's not too difficult. If you're using that little pod thing as cover, you can generally avoid all of his shots. You might get the occasional shot fired at you, but it's not too hard. There we go. So with him down, I'll actually show you what you need to do. Obviously now I've accessed the ramp, I don't have to do this. But, here we go. Right. Can I shoot that guy? Yeah. Just be wary, there's a guy up here, which isn't so much of an issue if you're doing it right at the start when I tried to do it. But if you're doing it now, it can be a little bit bothersome. Yeah, just take care of those. Ice troopers are the easiest because you can freeze them. So out of the coloured troopers, they're the ones that you want most often. Right, so jump up here. Jump on the wheel. And jump... Fuck! This isn't hard. I'm making it look really difficult, but it's honestly, it's not hard at all. Right, jump on the wheel. Then across to the... There we go. Yeah, that's what you want to try and do. If you can do that, brilliant. If you can't, then... Hey ho, just fight in the normal way. There's some pirate data down here that you don't want to miss. So make sure you go down the ramp regardless to scan the pirate data. Oh yeah, don't forget to actually scan the ice trooper. There's plenty of them later as I mentioned, but you still want to do it. Nothing to do on those computers on that floor. But up here we have some more pirate data. So I've got 1, 2... There we go. I think that's it. 3, 4... Yeah, I think that should be the lot. Right, so anyway, get the pirate data, jump up here. And we're in this nice little toxic room. Don't worry too much about the toxic room, just ignore it for now. These toxic balls and the poison will come down, but it's fine. Just go through the ice door and continue on. One thing you want to do here is just basically drop down using the morph ball and get as far across this corner as you can. Activate the door and just go through. If you try and fight, you will probably die. On hard mode, that room is a bastard. So I would just avoid it. We're coming up to a save point now, so if you've got enough health to get past that, then that's definitely what you want to do. Now we're on these boys, which, without the correct visor to get them, they're a little bit of a pain. However, use your charge shots and try your best to get it, and you should be able to take it down. You can see from the lights and from the gunfire where it is, so it is possible to do, but you do have to use manual aiming. They don't take off that much damage, so it's not too difficult to fight, but it is quite stressful because you don't have the correct visor. So now we're coming up to this puzzle. This puzzle will get you the power bombs, and there's nothing much more to it than that. It's pretty much the same as in the regular mode. Just try not to touch the lasers, because at this point you're probably hurting for health, and touching the lasers isn't going to be the best. Just play it safe. But after that, there's a save room, and we're going to save. There's nothing much else for me to comment on, there's nothing to scan, there's nothing more that's difficult, so I'm going to leave it here, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, bye.